with Ollie leaving to go to Japan for a month in September, I think it is, or July, who cares? September. I have to train a replacement to cover him. So this is Ollie the Turtle. Hi Ollie, how are you? I'm okay, Dave, you're so awesome. Yeah, I know.
I would never say that.
Okay, this is Ollie the Turtle. Hi Ollie, how are you? Shut up, Dave.
I'm not that mean.
Ollie the Turtle, say something that Ollie would say.
Oh, get a goddamn turtle out of here.
My turtle.
Hello and welcome to NPCs of Wildemount reviewing Critical Role 2, episode 19. For like animal cruelty law, we have to show the turtle's fine. Don't worry about it. He's cool. He's had a sauna and a foot rub. He's good to go.
I've had this turtle for years.
Apparently that's what I sound like, by the way. Good to know how you think of me.
Don't disrespect Ollie the Turtle! This is my Ollie voice!
That doesn't sound anything like
Fly away!
Okay, it sounds a little bit like me, alright. So yes, I'm so gonna get him back for that.
Extended bit, right?
Oh god.
Anyway, so yes, we're back into Critical Role, and what happened this episode was kind of like what we predicted, with them seeing the gentleman and then deciding what to do. So as we do always, we will badly attempt to recap this episode.
And attempt to kind of review it along the way as well. So it should be fun. A lot happened in this episode. In fact, there was one point when Matt was talking as a character to the party that I had to rewind 4 times because he gave such a huge information dump of nearby places and possible quests. So I'm pretty sure I've got everything written down, but if not, please feel free to.
And yes, there will be maps of me trying to point out where they're actually going to go, so that helps.
Yeah.
So the first step was that as we left, ended the last episode, they were off to see the gentleman about some missions, you could say, that he has for them.
Now remember, they've been currently posed by 2 different groups, which is awesome sandboxing by Matt, really allowing them to go either direction. I'm sure Matt had plans for both the Legionnaires or work for the gentleman.
And they decided to work for the gentleman. I think the kind of threat of being kind of tied in with the Crown's Guard was a little bit too much. So we go off to the gentleman, and there's a bit of a fight going on when they first get there. Bit of a fight club, underground fight club. Which
just gets Bo super excited. She starts screaming, "Fight club!" breaking the first rule immediately and the second.
And there's 2 characters fighting that we have met before.
Yes.
The creatively named Lewis and Thud.
Yeah, so they're going at it in the bar brawl, swinging punches. Matt does an interesting way of describing this kind of stuff. He does the scene painting, and he has like moments, and he really gets animated, which I think helps bring him. We sound like Street Fighter characters.
Well, I guess that does help with like a lot of his characters when he does fighting voice acting. He probably goes through hours of just going.
Yeah. Sound like a cat throwing it.
Anyway, so the fight happens, and Lewis actually wins that particular brawl.
And who put money on it? It was Nott put money on it.
I think Nott put money on with Molly.
Yeah, there's a little bit of gambling through the party, which is what you do in a bar brawl situation.
And it's okay over here because it's legal in New Zealand. So.
Yeah, we can gamble. I bet you $5 that I can get someone to comment Ollie is king.
Why? Because now it's just a case of if they like you more than me, they'll just do it to spite me. So there's no way I'll win this bet.
I was actually just planning on
okay, how about this? I'll bet you $5.
Yeah.
They'll say more David is king than Ollie.
No, I'm not taking. That's a stupid bet. I'm not taking that bet because I'd lose. I was just going to log on as myself and write Ollie is king and take the bet because there were no provisions that I couldn't do it myself.
Exactly. We had to have even fight. You wanted a one-sided fight, and that's not how Fight Club works. Fight Club works so Bo and Jester decide to start another fight as playing along.
Molly used Maledict on Bo, which was kind of funny. Then we meet Ophelia Muldoon from the northeast.
No, that's who they have to find.
So that's right. So,
but we should say who wins the fight.
I suppose you should.
Who wins?
The first one, Lewis.
No, Jester and Bo.
Jester versus Bo. That was Bo kicks Jester's ass.
Who?
Bo.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
I was wondering whether you remember, because you had that smirk like, oh no, he's trapping me.
It's a monk in a melee hand-to-hand fight. Yeah. Of course Bo was
just to kind of get in a good hit to begin with, and kind of shows that they're not just pulling the punches.
But she did cast her spells against Bo at like first level rather than third. She did inflict wounds, so she wasn't really giving it her all, whereas Bo was just like, oh man, I'm going for it.
But Bo kind of wins, and Jester kind of falls unconscious, comes back.
Yeah, and there's just a little bit of bloodlust from the gentleman who's at the back of this whole thing, craning his neck to see what's going on and clapping a lot.
Yeah. So we finally decide to talk to the gentleman.
Yes.
And basically they get 2 missions. They get one is essentially an escort mission of, now is that
Ophelia Muldoon. Beautiful name, by the way. I love the name Ophelia.
And I'll show on the map here where they have to actually go to.
So it's in the northeast, past the Shady Creek.
So the whole I put just escort run. So basically all it is, go up there, get Ophelia out to whatever trouble she's got into, because they were very vague about what she's got up to, and basically bring her back to Zadash.
Because essentially there's been like some riffraff and bad stuff going on there, and she's in quote-unquote a predicament. Gentleman doesn't go into too much detail, which I think is Matt kind of saving the reveal for when they actually get there of what's going on, but they give enough of the information, and there's an advance of a couple of 100 gold and a couple of 1,000 gold upon completion, but that's only one of the 2 quests that they possibly get given to choose from.
So the second one is essentially securing a shipment. So they have the gentleman has some trouble with some merchandise that he's trying to pass.
Essentially, one of his trade houses or his safe house has gone dark, he says, and people went to find out what was going on and why there were no shipments coming from there, and they never returned. Yeah,
and that's near a swamp. I'm not sure if it was in the swamp or near the swamp. There's a swamp on board. I'll put the map up there of where they're going to as well.
So it's just past Nosferat and the Iguana Breach.
Yes.
I don't know what the Iguana Breach is, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Is there iguanas there? Probably. Makes sense.
I have a friend called Breach. He's probably there as well.
You've got a friend called Breach.
His party.
Is his name actually Breach?
Yeah. Well, his last name is Breach. He goes by Breach. He used to eat parties. He used to eat spiders.
Eat parties. He goes to parties and just eats them.
TPK. No, he used to eat spiders as his party trick. He'd find a spider web. I used to hang out.
It's not really a trick. That's just being very hungry and food deprived.
Yeah, like Bear Grylls is like, well, where's the
He does it as a party trick, but this is literally all the food he's got. Anyway,
I'm gonna send this episode to Breach because I don't think he watches this channel.
Anyway, so the party get given these 2 options, and of course,
hang on.
What?
Silver Quay Ridge is another name. Sorry, this is the bit that I rewound.
Are you just throwing names out?
No, this is all the stuff that they're gonna go past or near. I thought it was important, so I wrote it all down. So we've got Nosferat, the Iguana Breach, Silver Quay Ridge, by Shady Creek for the other one.
Oh, that's gonna be annoying to show up all those locations really quickly for me.
Jamaica, Iceland, Reykjavik, Poland.
You realise I'm going to be up for 3 hours today doing this.
It's alright, I'll make you a coffee, you'll be fine. Now, so basically the gentleman says, which one would you like? And originally the party kind of leans towards one or the other. A little bit of deliberation, they go, actually, think about it. What's stopping us from doing both?
Yeah.
And the gentleman kind of says, well, if you do both in a timely fashion, I'll throw in a little bonus.
Yeah. Because the gentleman kind of implies that if they don't take it, someone else will get it.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of just like, yeah, why don't we do both? And they also probably go to drop by Huppaduke, because apparently it's a funny name and there's going to be funny things there.
Yeah. Now, what you touched on before about not wanting to be tied down in the Legion... I was hoping you'd just go past it, really.
Nah, never do. Anyway, what were you saying?
What you were saying was also in a discussion I saw on Reddit, which was if they were to join the Legionnaires, even though it's much more gold, they're locked into a city. They're locked into a group, whereas the gentleman offers freedom. However, I know Matt well. We've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, he's good. He's a good friend of mine.
Just chill out.
Yeah, we play Go.
When Marisha comes, you just vanish. So it's like whenever you bring it up, it's like, where's Marisha? I don't know. I don't think it's Matt. I think it's just a guy with long hair that sits in your house.
I hired him. I found him at a bus stop.
It's your girlfriend.
He was peeing in a boot.
I think we just
anyway, Matt, I know really well. Yeah. And I tell you 100% right now, and this is another one of our theories that will probably be disproven immediately in the next episode, but Gentleman is setting them up. I think he wants to use them and then kill them.
What makes you think that?
and just the way he holds himself, he's very Briarwood, I think, in the way that he kind of speaks. And that makes me not.
Well, he is a water Ginsey. And
yeah.
He's kind
so
of.
I also think like that. Essentially, at some point,
you just don't trust anybody.
This is true, except for the homeless guy named Stefan who I found at a bus stop. But what I'm thinking is that he's gonna give them some quests and stuff. The Mighty Nine is gonna say, give us more gold, or they'll do something, or they'll risk exposure for the gentleman's operations, and then the gentleman will set them up.
Double cross them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that I wouldn't say it's not that's not a possibility that the gentleman doing it. I think at the moment the gentleman's getting something out of them, so I don't see it happening anytime soon. But I'll see if the tables get turned, they will get turned on. Yeah,
I reckon he's a dangerous man to be working for, and even though the Legionnaires essentially represent war and mob mentality, you know, at least you're within the reaches of the law.
Well, gentleman already has something on them in the fact of they got out of that.
That's true.
That previous thing of the murder.
The High Rector whole debacle. That's a 13-point word.
Yeah. So basically, they decide to accept both of them and basically get out of town because that was their whole intention.
Yeah. So 2 quests: retrieve Ophelia Muldoon from Shitty Creek, and find for Bron Keys and secure the safe house in the other part of town.
Which we'll probably do the one closer first, which is the secure the shipment, basically. I'll put the secure the shipment as, because it was just like the title of the quest. Secure the shipment.
Yeah, so now we have the quests for the next couple of episodes. Alright, time for some roleplay.
Really?
Well,
you're going to build that up. You're going to have to get going.
I do actually.
Because I've got something I can continue if you want.
At this point, there is some wonderful roleplay between Jester and the gentleman, as the Jester tries to bargain for a little bit more. Essentially, she says, "What about some potions to help us out?" And Matt says, "Roll persuasion." She goes, "Okay, Nat 20, and get some potion."
Yeah,
and that's why I drew Jester this week. Ha! I started doing these again. I scanned it and sent it to Dave, so he has to put it up on screen. Look at it.
I can agree that he did that. I mean, that one's good, right? I like that one. That's very anime.
I am drawing my inspiration from certain experiments later.
So basically, they do a bit of prep work. They do one last visit to Pumat Sol.
Yeah, but I think that's just become like just a standard thing.
It's need a break from Pumat.
there are other people in Sadash.
Yeah,
we love Pumat.
It is the 2 NPCs that really stick out in terms of when you're thinking about notable NPCs for campaigns. Like we had heaps for the Tal'Dorei campaign. This one is pretty much the gentleman and Pumat Sol, probably the 2 that really stick out of really unique NPCs currently, and that everyone kind of gravitates to.
I did like Dolan in the gang, but they don't seem to be dealing with them much anymore.
Well, Dolan's in hiding.
Yeah.
So
I did write at this point, it looks like Caleb is really plot hungry. It looked like Liam was kind of really angling for some roleplay in this session. I think that's what he wanted to get out of it. And Matt kind of allows that to happen later in the episode. And they kind of set up some information, and there's a lot of cool stuff that gets done. But we'll get to that.
Prep work, they decide to leave on the Bronkill Byway. That's the trick they're going to go. It's going to take them 2 days to get to the swamp. I just put before the shipment. So they exit the Dash finally, and Matt does a really brilliant, beautiful kind of description of them leaving. And that it does get quite cold at night as well.
Some of Matt's scene painting in this, he's got it down, I think, to such an art that he can set an entire scene with 2 or 3 sentences. That's something as a dungeon master that's really not easy to do. Simply by saying the clouds roll in, the pitter-patter of the rain, and your breath kind of shows as you exhale. That's enough to set up the mood, the scene, the feeling of it. He's good. Ooh.
Agree. So as we go along on the path, they spend one night, nothing eventful happens.
Yeah.
Molly actually sees some smoke in the distance shortly after.
Yeah.
It turns out to be a little bit of a shack.
So they go to investigate and see what's going on.
So Yasha, Molly and Ford, they're the ones that decide to ride ahead towards the shack, and they find an old orc, not half orc, an old orc.
Elderly orc.
Elderly orc. I put old, is that good enough for you?
I prefer the term elderly.
Why?
Because old is like, it's like, Windows 95. It's like irrelevant.
Windows 95. So anyone born before 1995 is irrelevant?
No, I just say...
Is that what you're saying?
The word old has that connotation, whereas elderly sounds like some kind of berry tea. I'll have some elderly, please, with milk.
Let's bring back Ollie the Turtle.
If you want to see the next episode, just Dave and Ollie the Turtle.
No.
If we get 20 comments that say let's replace Ollie for the next episode.
No. No. No.
I will also point out there's a little bit of fun with the Wand of Smiles just as they leave, which just led me to wanted to say, Matt, you're a genius. It's real cool giving the party an item that is solely for fun because
cosmetic kind of thing. Yeah.
As you guys, as you know, the game that we played, you guys really like that kind of stuff. It's fun just to give them a fun item.
Just to play around with.
Yeah.
So we go to the shack. Nothing much happens. Molly kind of does a bit of a trade for some hide armor.
Yep.
And two.
This was.
They get two other things. 2 pounds of meat.
Now this was another thing that you could kind of tell Matt was like, you guys do know you're going into the freezing cold. None of you have cold resistance. There's going to be exhaustion and stuff, and he kind of goes, so here's a guy that has a whole bunch of pelts and things like that, and the party's like, no.
You could just hear Matt going, take the hint.
Yeah, he goes, the wind blows and it's cold. Oh, look, a wolf pelt.
But they seem to be doing all right. So we get back on the road. We crash out for another night. So the first watch goes all right, but the second watch goes a little bit south.
So here we have goblins, orcs, and wolves advancing on the party menacingly as Caleb moves from his position as watchman to find an arrow from the dark. Not just any arrow, though, poison arrow. Now, poison the condition, if you don't shake it off with that constitution save, when it hits you, it's dangerous stuff.
Shaking off.
Oh, okay. I just thought you were just inspired by the moment.
Nope.
You made me snort cough.
Sorry. So yeah, we find two ogres that seem to be the ones in charge of this little crew.
Yeah.
A lot of goblins and a lot of wolves. Now, the goblins play a little bit significant because not during the traveling yet little kind of Nott is about to kind of go into his backstory. Sorry. Always do it. Goddamn, Sam.
It's because Sam played a guy for like...
Yeah, I know. Nott goes into her backstory, like about to go to backstory, kind of was teasing, and I thought that was a funny bit, but then at the end of it we get a big chunk of history. So, but we do the battle first.
Yes. So essentially, the first note I have on the battle is, God, I want a plethora... Sorry, I don't mean to take the Lord's name in vain. We've had some comments on this channel before. I'm really trying to break that habit.
God damn it! Stop doing it!
Heresy. No. Anyway, sorry.
Praise the spaghetti monster.
I can get on board with that. The first thing I wrote is, I want a plethora of minis, man. They've got such a cool arsenal of Dwarven Forge and like pre-painted stuff, and
Can you imagine all the stuff he gets sent as well?
Yeah,
man?
I know, man. Because they used to do Christmas at the like every 2 or 3rd episode, but then they just started
got too much
stuff, and they were
no.
Can I just mention it?
Briefly.
Real briefly. If you want to check out the D20 After Hours podcast, we're opening the first thing a fan has ever sent us. It's so cool. We got fan mail. I'm so excited. Thank you. Anyway, the goblins, orcs, and wolves advance. Now, the orcs themselves are massive, so easy to hit, but decent amount of hit points, decent amount of damage output. The goblins add the beautiful, Matt, you're a genius element of not being like, well, here's my kind, doing what they do. What do I do? And Sam handles it beautifully.
Yeah, so Nott decides to shoot Caleb with a nat 20.
Yes, which is important because he was not trying to hurt him. He was aiming for the book that he knew Caleb carried.
Which is kind of stupid. Caleb has his books. Why would you shoot his book? Dick.
But Caleb kind of figures out what the plan is and pretends to go down.
It's apparently one of the moves they did. It was one of the plays. But unfortunately, they didn't really tell the rest of the party. That's kind of one of the plays that they do is playing dead or one of them turning on the other.
Yeah. So Jester goes, oh my god, Nott has turned. Run, kill.
Well, Jester goes over and tries to heal Caleb, but Caleb is already healed.
He's fine.
He's fine, but it doesn't do any effect, and so she's freaking out and just drags him away.
Yeah. Now, as you guys know, we don't go too much into the combat, just the important stuff. So, Yasha using Necrotic Shroud for the first time, which is unbelievably badass as she gets these cool necrotic wings. Her eyes go completely black, and she just starts seeping out this necrotic stuff.
Yeah, she's like a dark angel.
And you know how I know what spell it was?
Because you watched Dark Angel, that TV series with Jessica Biel. Was it Jessica Biel? I think it was Jessica Biel. It was just Jessica something. You didn't watch Dark Angel? I did.
I was going to say Knowledgeoverswag's book.
It wasn't Jessica Biel, though.
Please, just wait while we figure this out.
No, it's alright. Carry on.
If you know, put it in the comments down below. So yeah, the Necrotic Shroud just is just damn cool, and it's part of her kind of Asimar fallen angel thing.
Caleb casts Sleep. The reason why I mentioned that, Sleep? He does sleep.
Oh, yeah. And
I'm saying that because when we go into the comment section, that's going to come up a lot, as it did last episode. And basically, I take them out with not much drama. There wasn't too much kind of, scary moments or anything. It kind of was more of a just let's get rid of them.
One thing I'd like to point out is that Caleb does use the spell slow, which lowers the AC because they're moving slowly, limits their movement, obviously. But someone, who was it? It was, I wrote it down, Drazatis, kind of pointed out on Reddit that, hey, haste and slow is a bending of reality.
Are you going to send me a screenshot of that comment so I can put it in the video?
Sure.
Good. I'm going to hold him to that.
Damn!
You have to do it tonight because this goes out soon.
That's alright. When I get home, I will do that. Yes.
So, I got him to do work!
and just for that, here's a picture of an apple.
Anyway.
Drazatis pointed out that haste and slow are very much spells that bend reality, as we learned from the last episode. That's Caleb's MO. I just thought that was a cool little parallel that he made.
Yeah, that's good. So Yasha gets how you want to do this on the first one. Who gets the second?
That would be...
Give me your
Forward.
Forward.
Yes. It's also interesting to point out, at one point, Marisha's not played a monk before, and there was some comments on the fact that one of the most powerful spells in her abilities in her arsenal is Stunning Strike, which, you can use a key point, stun the thing, it's really powerful. So she does this early on.
She does that with Jester, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And essentially later in this fight, Jester is we think, trying to hint, do it, and she goes, hit him in the ribs like you did before, kind of thing. Suggesting, hey, use Stunning Strike, it'll be really useful. But Bo actually misinterpreted it and thought, oh right, I'll attack, so used Flurry of Blows. There's just a little bit of discussion online of people that were like, Stunning Strike is probably one of the most powerful weapons in your arsenal right now. You've got to be aware of that and
she's not a human.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
she probably just forgot.
So people were just like, Flurry of Blows, damn cool spell, but that Stunning Strike, man, that can win or lose fights.
Yeah, perfect. And that's pretty much the goblins scatter soon after the ogres fall, and some of them, a couple get away, some of them don't. But pretty much that's the end of the little attack that they had. Yep,
so they clear off essentially a nice little encounter, and that's when they all kind of sit and talk, and we get some really perfect, heavy roleplay.
Now, at first I thought we were going to get into more of Yasha's story, because they start explaining the wings and so forth, but then we take a left turn and start talking about Nott and her feelings towards, goblins in general.
So we find out that Yasha speaks Celestial, as does Caleb, and I think it was Caleb mentions it's such a nerd language, which is actually a reference to Percy, because every time Percy and Vox Machina, or a lot of the times when he spoke Celestial, someone in the party would call him a nerd for knowing it. So
Nerd!
So a little bit of callback
Nerd!
Our power. Nerds are power, right? So there's a little bit...
I'm pushing that damn slogan, aren't you?
Nerds are power is a great slogan. It took me 5 weeks to come up with that. So that's just a nice little throwback to Vox Machina.
Yeah. So Nott's backstory is basically... well, how do you start this?
So Nott starts talking about the not feeling that she ever fit in with the other goblins.
Yeah, that's very
The goblins were, attacking and horrible, and just had this kind of evil to her. I wrote down a couple of things that she said. She said, I don't feel comfortable in my skin. I think we can all relate to that. And I want to be different. This had me questioning if Nott was ever cursed, cursed into a goblin at a very young age, maybe at birth.
I don't think so, based on what he said. Oh, she said, sorry. Gotta get that right. So Nott had mentioned the fact of while she was growing up, it was noted that she wasn't a warrior, she wasn't a hunter, and ended up being the Torch's assistant.
Yeah.
And kind of got roped into watching people get tortured all the time.
Which is interesting, because Caleb had the thing where he was told to murder his family, and Nott had the thing of being trained to torture.
And she never enjoyed it. And there was a question of whether Nott had ever eaten a child.
Yep.
The answer was no.
And
I say yes, it was a baby.
Yeah, we got a little bit of I ate a baby once.
Yeah.
Kind of dark.
But no one else knows but Caleb.
Yeah.
And Caleb takes a big swig of the flask.
The meme on Nott's flask this week was hilarious, by the way. It was a retelling of the I think it was Saturday Night Live meme where the guy shoots the thing.
Yeah.
There's images of it online if you want to find
So basically, how Nott got away from the clan, basically they were going to execute someone that Nott had actually learned a lot from.
Yeah.
They actually used this person to teach Nott a lot, and then was going to kill him.
Yeah.
But instead, Nott managed to save this person. I can't remember the guy's name.
Unfortunately, I don't have it written down either, because I'm not even sure that they mention it. But
I'm pretty sure they do, but very briefly, and I forgot to write it down.
So essentially, Nott, once this person is given all its lessons to Nott is instructed to kill her. They were going to kill the guy. So Nott shoots his friend in the butt to create a distraction, and they both bolt.
In opposite directions.
Yeah. And then it does come up in the later that they're like, well, do we want to go back and see if we can find
down south? It'll be south of Zadash.
Yeah.
Doesn't state exactly where it is because they're goblins and the nomads. They're just traveling anywhere. They don't have a city per se.
But Nott kind of says that it's in the opposite direction. We can't really do it.
Yeah, but there is a possibility after we finish these two quests at the moment that we're going to go back.
Yeah.
But then again, it could be a similar thing like Jester. We know where Jester's from, and we're always intending to explore there, but we haven't yet, so we just know about it.
Yeah. And then they kind of mention, I can't remember who exactly said it, but they said that you've earned the comma, not the brave. Not the brave.
And I think one of the big things for Nott, I think we're going to see going forward, is that Nott's going to realise that it's okay to be a goblin, that maybe Nott has this bad ideas of what goblins are, but not realising that it takes one person to kind of change a society or change the way people are looked at. So not maybe thinking all goblins are like this. It's like, no, maybe you're just the first goblin like this.
An enlightened being in a sea of infinite chaos.
And Nott's still young, is like 8.
6 or 9.
6 or 9, something around there. I say 8 just to go in the middle ground.
7.66 repeat.
Yeah.
So also we do find a couple of stuff on. Later online there was this discussion about Caleb's desire to have Nott be a halfling, or Nott's desire to not be Nott in their skin. You know, I said Nott 3 times in that sentence. So there's 3 main theories about what's going to happen. Either Caleb takes True Polymorph as his first 9th level spell. Even though a 9th level Dispel Magic could cause him to have to recast it, that's one option.
Yep.
The other spell that was mentioned was Wish. However, each time you wish, there's a chance that you can never cast it again. I think it's a 33% chance.
Yep.
The third, and what I think is the most likely, is the Reincarnate spell. So if Nott at any point falls, and there happens to be a higher level druid around, they could use Reincarnate to bring Nott's spirit into anybody at random or chosen by the DM. I think that's the most likely, so going out on a limb here with the theory that if Nott ever falls in battle, there might be a chance to find a druid and reincarnate.
I think that's a bad character choice to change not being a goblin.
Well, I think it's kind of the MO, in a
but
sense.
It's kind of like saying, if you don't like your own skin, just change it.
This is true, and it's more about being accepted within your skin. So, perhaps Nott, after the lengthy journeys and the tribulations, gets offered a chance to have what she's desired her whole life, to be different.
And maybe the difference is the fact that Nott could be honoured as a goblin, as a hero, which goblins aren't.
So maybe she gets the chance to almost have everything she wants, and decides that actually we're who we're meant to be. And
exactly. I hope it's that, because I think that's a positive character development, because Nott has hated who she is for so long to be able to go, hey, just because other people are like that doesn't mean that's who I am.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean that's who I am as a person. I like that message more.
Stay true to yourself.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very long time before we find out the result of that, because that's like a whole campaign kind of thing.
But we have it on video. If we even get close. So that was
if we ever still do this show by then.
So essentially, it ends with the rain coming down. Molly goes, I'm getting under the cart. And everyone else is kind of like, let's just hang out. Some people online were like, well, you're going to get points of exhaustion, if you're out in the rain. If there's something in the DM's guide, if the temperature is below 0 degrees, you roll a Constitution saving throw at the end of each hour with a DC of 10, or half the hit points of the damage that is taken, or whichever one is higher, or something like that.
Please correct him in the comments below, because he loves that. But yeah, the rains fall. They decide the next morning comes, and they decide to carry on the journey, and that's where the episode ends.
Yes, so it was a wonderful episode. We got some interesting combat where we got to see some of the party's spells and abilities and stuff that's really useful. Some amazing roleplay, and finally 2 quests with which we can hopefully.
So yeah, that's the episode 19.
Yes.
So now we've been rambling long enough. Now we talk about what you guys have said, and obviously we're going to start with correcting ourselves. So we actually got 2 comments. We got from Seth Belly. Caleb sleeps the giant, not Nott.
Right. Yep.
And then we have another one from Chaos Nawa. He says, "Drive me insane. It was Caleb that cast Sleep on the Giant."
Why did I think I said Bo and was it Nott?
I said what? I said Nott.
Yeah.
You said Bo. We're both wrong. It was Caleb.
Now there was,
and that's why I mentioned that.
There are a few comments on the last video, and if we have a few comments, we do a few featured ones. So my one that I found.
I'll finish reading the comment.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you that Nott. I'll give you Nott because he's an
arcane trickster.
I'll give you Nott because she's an arcane trickster. Ha! Is that true?
Yeah, level 3 feet. It's the best one in the rogue.
I thought Jester was the arcane trickster.
No, arcane trickster is a subclass of rogue that you pick at level 3.
Never mind. I thought I had him. And has gotten a similar mileage with Hideous Laughter, but Bo, question mark.
I know.
I think she's the only member that has no spells for both classes.
I remember this from last week, and the reason I thought it was Bo that sleeps, or I had that in the notes, is because it was Bo who came up with the plan to attack him after he was slept.
I know, and it's good that you guys correct us because we want to get better at this.
Yeah.
And being able to put shame on video is how we learn.
It's good fun. It's our kink. And my video.
No, it's not. It's not. That was him saying that, not me. No.
So my comment that I thought was wonderful was from Ryan Ratchford, who's pointing a gun at me in his profile picture, which is a little bit terrifying. But he said, "To be honest, I had a small fan theory. At the point Jester got her package from her mum, hashtag package watch, nice. I honestly thought that Nott, after seeing how upset Jester was for not receiving, although you did write reviving, anything from her mum, decided..."
Don't criticise the comment. Just be thankful you got one. God.
If they don't...
It's like, let's read out a comment and just make fun of them.
He wrote reviving. I don't know. I was just mentioning that. Anyway, after not receiving anything from her mum, it was probably autocorrect, to be fair, decided to post something to Jester pretending to be her mum. And then he goes, "I remember Nott put over 200 gold and all her stolen knickknacks into a parcel and posted it. Thought she was just trying to cheer Jester up, brackets, especially when Jester rattled the box, and it sounds like a lot of loose items, close brackets. But alas, another theory wrong." Great theory, though. Great theory.
Yeah, it was.
Love that theory.
I think we're deliberately not getting a lot of information what's happening with the ruby of the sea.
Yeah.
I was going to say jewel of the sea. I mean,
that's from Titanic.
I know. Anyway, I think we're getting a lot of hints there, but right now we're heading into a very good period of the campaign where it's time for us to get more backstory.
Yeah.
So last episode was a huge Caleb dump. This episode was a good. So Nott MVP, I reckon.
I was really torn this episode between Yasha and Nott, because Yasha had the awesomeness of Necrotic Shroud and a little bit of backstory too.
But
for me,
Nott had that huge dump there. That was the first time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going with Nott. What are you going?
I'm gonna have to go with Yasha.
You just want to screw up my editing.
No,
God damn it, Ollie.
Settle it in the comments. What happens is we'll get people to vote. Whoever gets the votes, that's the official MVP of the week.
How about that? Between Nott and Yasha.
There we go.
And we will, I don't know, say thank you in the comments. I don't know if we will mention in the next video. It's kind of, I don't know. We're making this up as we go along.
None of this is scripted. This is all improv.
Nah, that's one of the beauties of our rambling.
Yes, so thank you for joining us here on our couch in Wellington, New Zealand, as it pours with rain outside.
Yeah.
It's been really fun bringing these videos to you guys, and it's basically just fueled by caffeine, sleep deprivation, and poor life choices.
Mainly the poor life choices.
Mainly.
But if you do like this video, make sure you shove a like in it because we love seeing what you guys like and don't like. It helps us put a good direction on how we make these videos. Make sure you subscribe if this is one of the first times you're watching us and you want to kind of watch our stupid faces again, or leave a comment on what we can do better or what you liked about the episode. That's the most important thing, and give us something to talk about.
And hey, remember, we've got a whole lot of content on this channel. We've got stuff coming out every week, so go check that out as well. And thank you from myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, and
Dave.
We wish you a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
I'm here.
I'm cold.
God, someone's complaining all the time. Leave my house.
We had to do the D20 After Hours.
I know, but...
Go watch that as well, it's good.
So with Ollie going away in August, or July... September. I have to train a replacement to kind of cover him. So this is his replacement. This is Ollie the Turtle. Alright? Ollie, what do you think about the recent episode of Critical Role? I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I always watch it.
Okay, I'll try it again. Ollie the Turtle, how did you feel about the latest episode? I don't know anything.
I do more research than you do.
Really?
I read Reddit threads. I read Twitter.
No.